Hi, good evening, morning, good afternoon. How are you? We found the global and all over global business, entrepreneurs, uh, for their personal, for themselves. And one of the things I've had interest for is to bring onto the show some interesting, inspiring people across the globe. And today I have with me someone very unique, someone very interesting, who is a youth based in Africa, Nigeria. The person of Mr. Segun, um, Mr. Segun, who is a Mr. Segun Amure, who is a great individual in Nigeria, and we have him today who is going to be speaking to us about his journey to greatness. And one thing that interests me so much about this person is the fact that they have gone through they've gone through a very difficult time and challenges, and he has at the same time overcome those challenges. Mr. His research interests are in poetry, criticism, Caribbean literature, and African literature and poetry writing. Segun Amure currently serves as Special Assistant Media and Digital Communication to the Deputy Speaker, Osun State House of Assembly, Honorable Abidemi Akinyode OYEWUSI in Nigeria. This Mr. Segun has done great and tremendous work in where he lives among the youth. And today we're going to have him on the show, sharing his experience of how he started his journey. And one interesting thing about this is this young man has done his degree and is currently undertaking his master's degree. And despite everything that you could ever think of, this man has come, this man has seen, and this man has conquered. As he came, he saw, and tonight he's going to be speaking to us, all the youth, about how to become a productive youth. How to become a productive youth. I am Philip Oladejo. I am the UK. And what interests me about this man is the fact that he's young and this is a tremendous, a great learning. So please welcome, please.
Good evening, Mr. Philip. Good evening,
Good evening to
Utah.
you. Good evening to you.
My
Good
name is
evening
Shep.
to you.
I'm pleased to
Wow,
be here,
wow.
and I believe that we'll talk to ensure that the youths claim their space and fulfill their potential in life.
Absolutely. Brilliant stuff. Brilliant. Now, I am very, I was very inspired, and I'm still inspired now when I read your bio. Amazing, amazing. Just give us a snapshot, just a glimpse of your journey, a bit of introduction of yourself, please.
Okay, my name is Segun Amure. As I said earlier, I'm the
Yes.
first in the family of four. My parents are civil servants. My dad works at the Bafemi University in Nigeria. My mom teaches in a federal school, one of the federal unity school. And well, let me say I was born into an academic parent and born into a family of activists. My father fought during the 1993 MKO Abiola struggle for the mandate. And I was conceived and baited during that period. So I could tell that the circumstances that surround my birth had given me vision, a clear cut of what to do in life. So that ran through my primary and secondary school days. In primary school, I was a member of the press club. I did that in my secondary school when I was appointed as a secretary, later rose as a president of the press club. And it is quite fortunate that that school produced special assistant on media and publicity to former president. That's Mr. Femi Adesina, and he was a good boss, a good mentor. I ran to the university. I had my degree in English, and I was that. I think my political journey began when I was in the university. I started as a student representative council member in my year one, and in part three, I became the faculty president, the first faculty president in that my university, Federal University of Ekiti, that was not that didn't contest, but was just appointed based on my pedigree, and that spanned through my undergraduate days. I headed. I was appointed as a president of NYC Culture and Tourism CDS Group, and it has been a good journey finding my feet in the mainstream politics now. Thank you so much.
Well, I like the fact that you mentioned that you were born into the family, and I'm sure, and I want to give credit to dad and mom as well,
Thank you so much.
for the great job that they did. No, dad and mom, wherever you're watching from at this time, we salute you. We thank you for these young men that you have prepared, or you prepared for such a times as this. We have so many parents. We got to talk about that as well. That means parents parents have a great input in the life of their children. And I want to thank daddy and mom for that, and also for yourself for not wasting that opportunity. What would you say? Let's just start with this. What would you say with a lot of youth who have the opportunity and take the opportunity for granted? What would be your message to those youth? Let's
Well,
start. Let's start with that.
we've established the fact that parenting takes a great role or greater role in shaping the life of their children. Parents are like how will I put it? They're like drivers who sees ahead. In literature, there's something called foreshadowing, who predict what the future holds for their children. And they, if they are right, or if they know what the child will be, if they've noticed the child, okay, this, when I was born, my dad and mom observed that I talk very well. In fact, I show the trait that I'm a narrator. I talk a lot. That
Wow.
gave them the signal that okay, maybe I could pick up a degree in mass communication, in law, or maybe in English, something that takes me to that brings me to the public. And I would say that I'm fortunate to be in that family. So we have thousands of children like that who are talented, whose talent had given them a clear-cut shape of where they are going in life. But then reverse is the case because their parent could not identify them. Do you understand? So what we are saying now is that for us to, before we even get to the phase of admonishing, advising youth who are not living the life they should live, we should check the family. And it's unfortunate that in Nigeria it's nothing to write on about. We have people who are even accidental parents. People are not even matured into parenting. So it is a sad thing. I believe that government will look into that and ensure that we pick up children of the vulnerables and ensure that we give them the life they want to live.
Mr. Shego, I just like that point you just said about the government, but we're going to come to that. But before the government start, I love that point you just said.
But there, no problem.
I love the point you just said. But before the government move and get involved, when I was years ago, when I studied sociology, there are four key agents in society. We have the family, you have the religion, you have the economy, then you have the politics. So which means parenting, family comes first, and family is important before parents, before the government is involved in this. So I want to really appreciate dad and mom for the great job that they did, and the fact that they were able to capture your journey at early stage to see to be able to recognize your gift at that time, and to be able to help to channel which want to admonish our parents to pay attention to their children while growing up. It's very important that parents play a very important role in the life of their children. So now moving on, you said the government should help. So the first thing is that parents play an important role, and we want to appeal to all the parents wherever you are watching from this hour, that your involvement in the life of children helps to shape their journey in life. So thank you for that. So the fact that you were born into that family, you had a choice to either to say, do you know what, my parents have done well, I want to do well for myself. But there are so many youth who are not able to make that decision. That's one thing to have a good parent. It's another thing to have a child or children who want to become life. So that's a fine line to that parents who are very good parents, but the children are not taking the opportunity for are not taking the opportunity. So what would you have taken the opportunity to say, do you know what, I want to be somebody great in life? What would you say to such children, such youth who have the opportunity, but they are not taking the opportunity? What would you say to them?
And you see, we need to come back to the drawing board. That
Yes,
irrespective of what happens in the country, education takes the center stage. Do you
absolutely.
understand? I joined politics at the age of 23 or 24. Do you understand? And I'm not even in my 30s yet. But then I could tell that aside from the grace of God, which is a constant factor in everything that one becomes in life, do you understand? Because the Bible, sorry, I'm going to take the pastoral role now. The Bible says that the
Yes,
Lord that created us and know, even from the womb, what we're going to become in life. So either you
yes,
have a good parent or you don't have a good parent, there is a constant factor that God will place you. That's why in Jeremiah, the Bible says that I have known the thought I think towards you, the thought of peace and not
absolutely.
of evil, to give you an expected end. But moving away from the scripture,
Yes.
children or a youth must identify. You don't have any
Mm,
excuse. You see, in literature, we life is cyclical. Either a parent are good, either a parent are this and that. A day is coming, they will leave the world. You'll be left alone to take
absolutely.
decisions and to shape for others. So I would advise them.
Yes.
I would advise my fellow youth that irrespective of what happens, unfortunately in Nigeria, Nigerian situation has affected a lot of youth. They're thinking that okay, there's nothing in academics, there's nothing in education, there's nothing worth giving time to. Because if you look at it, those who had gone other way around, who had music of a talent, those who have gone into the musical industry and others, they are flourishing. So other aspect of life, saying, I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to
Mm,
do this. In fact, sorry to our global audience. There's an anecdote or a quote in the Yoruba dialect, Yoruba, culture, which I'm part of and I'm proud to be one. Say that "Ẹni tó bá mọ̀wé ló mọ̀wé," that it is he or someone who knows the way, someone who knows the way. You understand? That knows, that has everything. So I think we need to come back to the drawing board that
right.
you must give your talent, your plans, your aspiration, your ambition. You must give it all it takes. You may not pay off in the country, you pay off one day.
Good stage. Wow. So which takes us to the fact that every youth, anybody, there is a gift. Bible said that I'm going back to the scripture myself. That a man's gift makes way for him. A man's gift. So anyone, any youth, no matter where you are, like for example, Barack Obama, who became the president in the America, it was not, it was, he had a story, and he was able to find his gift. He was able to, he was an orator. He was able to find his gift. What we are saying is that all the youth, anywhere you are in this world, there is a gift. Whether you were born with a silver spoon, you were born with a short spoon or a small spoon, that means there is something that you have inside of you, which is a gift, which Mr. Shegun has used his gift, and he was able to discover that gift.
Sorry, permit me to cut in there. My
Yes,
my boss, my principal, I'm sure he's listening now. Right on
yes,
Honorable Akinyode, OYEWUSI, the Deputy Speaker of Osun State House of Assembly, a vibrant youth who sees talent and arch talent, mold talent, and make use of the best. Do you understand? So what am I saying? Why do I bring him in? Sometimes some people may not have parents who are into what they want to do. Some
yes,
people don't have parents who are interested in their career path. But sometimes God places you within the corridor of power. You see destiny helpers who reads about you, who had noticed you from afar and brings you in, and you become an asset to him. And that is what my boss, Right Honorable Deputy Speaker, that is what he has done, and it has been a good journey with him.
we want to appreciate the Right Honourable Speaker for the House,
Deputy
Deputy
Speaker.
Speaker of the House, for the great opportunity that he is doing in Nigeria and the life of the youth. And I want to say thank you so much, sir. If you're watching this this afternoon or this evening or this night, whatever the time says where you are, thank you so much for giving this youth the opportunity. So we're talking about the being a productive youth. I know one of the president often said once said that the youth are lazy. I don't know if that's true, but
The youth
well,
are not lazy.
I think I disagree with that. That the youth are not lazy. What do you have to say to that?
You see, the cliche that ran during the presidency of President Muhammadu Buhari, that Nigerian youth are lazy. Thank God they are Nigerian. Yeah.
Yes,
And it is not surprising that when Nigerians travel outside the country,
yes,
in no distant time, they make waves, they make the name. They register their presence in no distant time. When you come to Nigeria and you see what we youth pass through, you know, you have to, I don't know, some people would even cry because you could see a
absolutely.
youth who is 10 years old who fends for himself. You could see a youth in Nigeria is 14 years old who goes to bricklaying job in the morning, goes selling pepper, go walking on the highway. You look at that. So many governments, so many bad aspect of a country that is not working, which we are praying that it works one day. And we are also in it to ensure that it works. All these things are distractors that has even limited, the youth from activating or fulfilling their potential. Because it is said that an hungry man is an angry man. A youth who
Absolutely.
doesn't have shelter, a youth who doesn't have, who doesn't have means of livelihood in Nigeria, would not even think that, okay, there's an inborn thing in me. In fact, in English, there's something Noam Chomsky called innate. The innate language is innate. And,
Yes.
all those things, whatever innate talent they have, they bury it because of poverty. But government, or as one of the government officials, we're going to work towards that. I think my governor is doing very well. Governor Ademola Adeleke, His Excellency. We are doing
Oh
that to ensure
wow.
that he takes the center stage.
I think I know the honorable governors. I've watched him online so many times. I mean, I was actually in Nigeria myself last year. I think it was last year, and the state of the economy was very, very well, very, very alarming and concerning. And that takes me back to appreciate the fact that we have a deputy, the honorable deputy of the House of the Osun State Assembly, Right Honorable Abidemi Akinyode OYEWUSI. Am I right with that?
Akinyode, Abidemi Akinyode,
Akinyode, please forgive my OYEWUSI. Thank you
you are
so much.
forgiven.
Thank you so much for impacting lives and making a contribution, because you were able to see a talent, and then you are helping that talent to thrive. So on the going back to the being productive, so we're going to talk about the government, the side of it. So, which means that we're asking the youth to prepare themselves for the opportunity, isn't it? Because opportunity will always, for example, now you are prepare yourself for the opportunity. So, what we want to say to the youth, wherever you're watching from, is preparing yourself for the opportunity, because opportunity will always be there. So
Exactly.
take us through, how did you how did you meet with the Right Honorable Deputy Speaker of the House?
Okay.
How did you meet? Because there must be
It
a
was a
link
second
somewhere.
question,
He,
actually.
he saw the
Well,
talents.
you see, my boss, my principal, my benefactor, right Honorable Akinyode, it was I don't know. It was a designed and defined arrangement.
Wow.
When I ran it of my university education in 2017, yeah, 2017, I was the first runner-up of the Nigerian English Department Association. Debate was held at the University of Lagos, and I was the first runner-up. So I met the then chief whip of the Osun State Assembly. That's Honorable Babatunde Lekon Latunji. He also took, he was also part of those that shaped me. So then it was in APC, now the opposition party in the state, and we were close and cordial. So then my current boss, the deputy speaker, came out at the age of 35 to run for the position. but he couldn't win the ticket then. He couldn't win the election then. So I think at that time we've known each other afar. We've met maybe 1 or 2 times during his campaign, but I wasn't with him. So now, when he contested in 2023, we started the build up in 2022. So I just got a call that he wanted to see me from my teacher, and that doesn't bring me back to what I'm saying. That sometimes it even goes from the parent. I had a primary school teacher who is also listening to the program. His name is
Wow.
Akinyode. We call him Ebora or Akinyajilo. Taught me in the primary school, primary one and primary two. And he had seen me. He had listened to me. He had watched the way I write. So he had recommended me for my boss, and we met, and we discussed. We started together. I think that was May last year, May 2022. But then my boss was keen on ensuring, the deputy speaker was keen on ensuring that I operate within the larger scope of politics. And thank God, that was how we met, and the relationship has been very good, and I'm grateful to him.
So we want to say thank you so much to all the teachers who and I'm going to talk about
The
that
list
as
is
well.
endless, actually. The list is endless.
Listen, and I just want to say, I want we even though we want to use this program to also appeal to the governors, the presidents, the government officials about the youth in Nigeria, in Africa, around the world, providing opportunity, supporting the teachers, the primary school teachers, the secondary school teachers, up to the as university level, because the youth are the hope of tomorrow. They're the future
Exactly.
of tomorrow. So
Exactly.
if we invest in them today, it's going to tell us out it tells the future of the nation. I think it was one of the scholars says, if you have he will have the youth have the future. He
Exactly.
that have Yes. So if we want our country to be better, we need to produce, we need to support more youth in our nations, in our community, in our nation. If we want to see our nation thriving, So I want to say thank you to the teachers who have shaped the life of this young man and myself. I mean, I grew up in Nigeria myself before I moved to the UK 21 years ago. So I want to thank you for the opportunity that you are giving to the youth. I mean, support that the youth are not lazy. We are not lazy, right?
Exactly.
The
Exactly.
youth
Youth
are
are.
not lazy. It is just
Yeah.
that the youth are limited in terms of the opportunities that they have. So I want to say to the honorable Speaker, the Deputy Speaker of the House, for the opportunity given to Segun Amure for these work, and the teacher as well. So, if how would you before we ask for the support for the youth, what are the challenges that you think that the youth in Nigeria are facing currently? In terms, I know that's a lot of lots of challenges. What do you think would be the basic needs that the government should provide? For example, in the UK, the government see the citizen as the responsibility, and they provide basic things. So, what are the basic things the youth in Nigeria need? I think we're waiting for. I think we look. Yes, we can hear you. Let's see, because I'm enjoying this conversation. Um, let's see. Okay. This says it's the network. So for our viewers who are watching, I'm talking with uh, Segun Amure, and about how to become a productive youth, and then we are talking about how the government can help the youth. We are talking about the challenges that the youth have in Nigeria in particular. What are the basic challenges? What are the basic needs of our youth? Which I know, which is food, water, and what are the basic needs of the youth. So I think we've lost Segun Amure. Is going to come back now. So the basic need of everyone: food, shelter, very basic. Food, shelter, very basic, and opportunities. We're asking tonight. We are speaking tonight to all the governments, all the any official. Yes, thank you for coming back. So we want to discuss the basic need that our youth need, that the youth need now in Nigeria.
You see, in fewer words, the only thing the youth needs in Nigeria is, I think, education.
Education.
And
Okay.
when I talk about education, I'm not referring to, there are types of education, formal and
Absolutely.
informal education.
Yes.
Either the education was being, given in the classroom or outside the classroom. Everybody must be armed with something that they can sustain on. You see, sometimes I ask my parents that if I had not gone to school, I wouldn't know. I would have committed suicide
Wow.
because I would see, what I could do. I would say a lot of things I can do in the society, but if you can't do them, one sees himself as being useless.
Wow.
Sometimes it pains me when I see people who are in my age group who find it difficult to store numbers, to speak
Mm,
good English, to write well. You see, the society, the world is moving from analog to digital,
mm. Yes.
and we have to be prepared for that. You could see, even those who are educated in the 1980s, in the 1970s, in the 1960s, they find it so difficult to navigate in the internet era. You
Mm.
know, that they find it difficult. I'm talking of the best brains that
Right.
lived in the past. They find it difficult to navigate. That's because they're even brilliant. That's because they're even educated. What happens to those who doesn't even have knowledge at all? So the only thing that government could do in Nigeria, I'm a politician as well, is that we must restore the lost glory of public education. Now, the economic hardship in the country is showing us that only few privileged,
Mm.
can afford sending their wards to private school. I went to private school. I never competed in one because the family was a struggling one when I was growing up. And I had the opportunity of going to a federal institution, in my university days, my master's in the University of Ibadan, which I'm still on. And when you look at all this, as sad as it is, some people, I have colleagues, I have students who could not even pay up their tuition fee,
Mm.
in public institutions, public universities. So we need to educate the youth. We need to reorientate, and that's why National Orientation Agency, NOAA in Nigeria, must come to the fore.
Mm.
There must be reorientation. You are not going to school to get a white collar job. If it comes, it comes. But there are things that comes with having education. You could think for yourself. So the only thing we can do is that restore the glory of published institution. Let's go back to the drum board. Teach the people. Teach the youth. When you teach one person, you have taught a nation. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for that. I like the fact that we talk about education, and education it's not just limited to tertiary education. It cut across providing training. For
Right.
example, in the UK, going to college or going to university is not the only way of having education. The government in the UK provide a different method of education, and I think Nigeria is a big player in Africa and also in the continent. And I think that our government should do more to educate the youth. And
Mm.
education just not it's not limited just to primary school, secondary school, even the job opportunity, apprenticeship. For example, in the UK, you don't have to go to going to university is not something is not compulsory. You have to go to university. There are so many opportunities
One could do.
work on apprenticeship where recruits youth who are tell you can actually tell that this child is is gifted in this particular field, and you can and that becomes something that that engineers them towards the future. So education is not just the only thing, as we've heard. It's just there's different methods that the government can provide education to the youth. One of them is apprenticeship. The apprenticeship is you pair a child, a youth, with an employer.
Exactly.
Firms, you see a child who is eloquent or is gifted in a particular field, you pair them with already established organization, and they get paid. So they get paid already. So there are different things that government can do for the youth. And I want to say thank you so much to Governor in Osun State who are doing their best and to educate the youth in the very way that they're doing now. So we want to appeal to all the other organizations, all the other governors across the state, across the nation, that the youth are not lazy. It's just that the opportunities are limited. Opportunities are limited. So, let's talk about some of these challenges that you face. I know. So, we learned that parenting is very important. Number two, opportunities are always there, and the teachers need to be supported as well. The teachers are everything. There's nothing everybody went through the schooling system. At one time, you have been taught in secondary school, in university, and I think that the teachers need to be well looked after, and be well supported, because the quality support that they receive determine the quality of the political environment, the quality of the economy. So it goes from the quality of teaching, the quality of teachers, I mean, the quality of education, and then the quality of the economy. So it's interdependent. So, want to appeal to officials. Thank you to you or to you or so where the challenges that you face and you think is relevant to our youth today, while you are studying, while you are trying to become somebody in life, what were the challenges relevant to the youth in our days in Nigeria?
Well, I think permit me to redirect the question to the challenges I faced, navigating into politics. In 2013, I think 2010, in 2010, yeah, 10, in my secondary school, I led a protest because we were not given report card. So I led the protest. I joined my seniors who led the protest. And at the end of the panel, it was a 6-week panel, I was confirmed to be the leader of that protest. And that made me left that school for the secondary school I graduated from. So that began to, awaken my consciousness that I could speak for the people. And I established Voice of the Masses. In fact, those who run through my university, people call me Voice of the Masses. I established that group then. So part of the challenges, in fact, chief among the challenges, are the naysayers. The naysayers, the pessimists, those who don't see the future in what you do. They just run you down. The politics in Nigeria is not possible. Quite fortunate and unfortunately for me, I attend a church that is heavy on no to politics. In Nigeria, I belong to a church who doesn't support politics. And people kept asking me, why exactly are you engaging in politics? Your church doesn't support. Ran from my year 1 to year 4, my church maintained the fact that they don't want politics. Do you understand? So aside from the naysayers or the pessimists, sometimes people around you. My father never wanted me to go so full into politics, and I think people also doubt you. I ran for Ife senatorial seat. I think I was barely 23, even before the not too young to run be in 2018 or 2017. I just played around it. I did a poster, under a court party. I wasn't a registered political person. Then I don't belong to the party. I just did it. It's on my Instagram. And in 2020, I came out for councillorship position in my ward, and I didn't even belong to a party. But I was showing the people that okay, this should be what you expect in the future. I'm just giving them the glimpse of it. I wasn't even close to anybody in the corridor of power. Then I think other thing that could also be the challenges I faced are also peer pressure. I'm still a young man, but let me say young boy. Not to say don't mind the beards, but then I have peer pressure. Do you understand? Peer pressure from my friends in the university, and let's do this, let's do that. But it was just everything ended, the way it should end, and being the youngest political appointee in the state, if I'm to say, maybe I'm not. I would say that so far, when you look at it, it's been a hectic journey. And let me tell you, even when I was in Abuja in 2020, I served in Kogi when I was lecturing, and when I moved to Abuja, I learned journalism. What I do now, I studied English, but I learned journalism from the university. So look at combining English with journalism. And please permit me to say, this is a global event. I want to sincerely appreciate Premium Times newspaper in Nigeria. That newspaper had given hope to the hopeless. In fact, had resuscitated many dying dreams. So in fact, a big thanks to our boss in Premium Time, who had we call him Big Dapsy. He had in fact he's the engineer who had looked at us and shaped us. And other lecturers have met so many challenges. Sometimes you have to write write-ups. The best of the write-ups to you, the lecturer would say, no, this is not communicating. This paragraph is not communicating. Should I even talk about the sleepless nights? Sometimes, being a media head, being ASA on media to my boss, you don't sleep the time other people sleep. Right. You are stick to the calendar because event doesn't tell you it's happening now. You have to check the calendar. What is happening tomorrow, August 6th? Is that a national holiday? Is that a global holiday? Is there something happening we have to react on? So, but everything is shaping us into a better person, shaping me into a better person.
Wow. Well, I like the fact you mentioned about the peer pressure. I think that's one of the main challenges that the youth face. Everybody wants to be like one person. They want you to do exactly what they want to do. They want to derail you from your plan. But you were very, very focused on why you're here, and that takes us to the purpose. Even though when the church, and I want to say this, and I want to encourage the leaders in church leaders, in religious leaders, to that's part of education as well. To also educate the youth to be involved in the political affair of their nation is important. It's very important, and I want to appeal to all our leaders who are watching today. And I want to believe that if Joseph had not gone into politics, he wouldn't have been able to become the prime minister. He would not be used for what God wanted him to be used for. So it's important that we get involved in politics. How do you effect a change? You can only effect a change if you are participating. You can't make
exactly.
change from within.
Exactly.
You can't make a side from within. You are now in the government. You're interacting with dignitaries. You're interacting with very people who are making policies. If you are not part of that, they continue making policies that that everybody has to abide by or have to subscribe to. So I want to appeal to all the leaders that you should encourage the youth to go into to participate in politics, so that they can make they can shape the policies, the policy to help the youth. So now let's wait. Do you think it goes from the state level to the federal? What other things that you think that the government should do to support you, the state level as
Well, okay. In answering that, permit me to use my state, Osun State,
okay?
as the model.
I can see you are so proud of your state.
Well, yes, I am. Yes, I am, because I'm proud of the governor. He's doing a very, very good job. You see,
Wow.
when Senator Ademola Adeleke came on board, His Excellency, we call him Imole, the light of the state, the light of the world. Even before his arrival, the state anthem had affirmed that the governor is the Imole of the whole world,
Right.
of the whole African world. And you see, let me just tell you this: we are lucky to have him as the governor.
Wow.
Because he believes that developing the youth is a two-edged sword, the formal development and the informal. Practically all of us cannot be educated.
Yes.
All of us are not going to live by the degrees that we have obtained from institutions. Now we have to look at how we can identify it. And that is why each state, leadership, either state governor, either chairman at the local government level, either councillor at the ward level, must, go into a cruel talent search on. Note the adjective, a cruel talent search on. You have to hunt them, because now in the global age, the youth, the children, evolves quickly. This person is good at this aspect. Let's use him. This person is good at this aspect. Let's use him. Some people sing, some people dance, some people use talking drum. Recently I watched a lot of clips on Instagram. You see a young girl, you see a young boy, making waves in the entertainment industry. We have to look at these people and match them. That is the work of, that's the work of any politician. Look at it in Osun State. We're privileged to have, David Adeleke, who is in fact the talk of the globe. Now,
Yes.
promotion from
Yes.
Ede, you understand? We have the likes of, beautiful musicians who are from the Southwest, who are making the waves globally. I believe all of them are educated. But are they doing that with their degrees? No, because of their talent. Do you understand? So governors should search for talent. And that is why the governor, Governor Ademola Adeleke, is saying that every of our policies, the 5-point agenda, we're looking at how we can transform the state. And there's no better way to transforming the state than the youth, than developing the youth. And when you look at that, look at it. He's the first governor in the history of the state that has the highest number of House of Assembly members as youth, who are less than 40. Out of the 26, majority are less than 40. The majority are youth. You could see the agility. And that shows that the state has a future. So there's no other way to developing the youth than to identifying their talent. What can you do? What can you do for yourself? And I believe that we are going to have a great nation.
Talking about the governor Ademola Adeleke, I love the man. I love him so much, and every time I watch, even in the UK, people we love him. And I tell you what, I love his free spirit. He dances.
You can't hate a man. You can't hate a man who is happy. An happy man is a good man.
That man, every time you watch him, even though if you are sad, you're going through something, merely looking at him, he put a smile on your face. He tells you a story that you can make it. He tells a story that life is not, you can't take that.
Exactly.
And I think we need more leaders like that, because there's so many. The world, bad news, you need people that can motivate you, that can put stuff up back. And I want to say thank you, Adeleke, for work you are doing for the youth in Osun, and we need to do the same as well. Identify talent. Well, but let's suggest, let's put this forward. What are the ways, Honorable Segun, what are the ways that you think that the government or the state governors can help to identify talent? Now, for example, in the UK, we have a program called it's called Britain's Got Talent. People display their talent on the stage, and I know that Nigerians are intelligent. We have intelligent people in Nigeria. How can the state governors begin to recognize what are the channels, what are the things, what are the programs that the governors
Well,
should put in place?
on that, aside from, let's start with the former.
Yes.
I benefited from that. My dad was in engineering, was in the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, during my secondary school days. Because of, I grew up to know him to be in that department. I'd wanted to study engineering. But we had clubs and societies in secondary school. We have literary and debating society. And right from my primary school, I've participated. And my teachers had noticed that, okay, this boy is good in those aspects. And I ran through. That's one of the things I did from primary school to the university, even in the post-university. Now, that's to answer history. Public and private schools across the country, Nigeria, should resuscitate clubs and societies in all the schools in Nigeria, in Southwest. There's something we call sports now. They call it Principal's Club. In that Principal's Club competition, people, different school comes together, plays football. And okay, this guy plays well. He's from which school? They know that. The local government forms a team. That team metamorphoses into state level. And before you know it, some of them, unfortunately in Nigeria, only few get to pick. Some of them are picked into the national team. And when you now come back to the larger society, do you understand? We could organize a skill acquisition program for the youth or for the people. And with that, you notice that this person is good at this aspect. Like my boss, Right Honorable Deputy Speaker, Akinyode OYEWUSI, in August, because Nigerian education system, this is holiday session. In August, we are starting with that. It is not where we are moving from, the narrative of just 6 weeks summer lesson. We want to have 3 weeks lesson. We want to have 3 weeks skill acquisition program. And we believe that once we have done this, even those who doesn't have parents who could sponsor their university education or their education going forward, if they have a skill, maybe they've learned babying, maybe they've learned, makeup or this and that, they could sustain themselves in the university with that. So either university, primary school, and secondary school, there must be a revival. In fact, sorry, in the religion register, we call it a crusade or a jihad on, reviving, clubs and societies and schools. And in the outer political world, in the public, talent shows are also so important.
Thank you so much, Honorable Segun, for saying that. Now think about the children who are not educated, who don't have the opportunity of going to education, the normal tertiary education. We have children in the street, on the road, who are hawking and all that. And I think the state governors, the local governors, the federal government should look into supporting such children. So, what would you recommend to suggest that the governors or the government could do for those children, youth who are not that who don't have the capacity to go to university or college or secondary school? There must be something that could be provided for, like training or something,
I think what we can do, like I said, we have to comb the street. You see, in literature, there's a poem by Thomas Gray that discusses the richness of the graveyard, the resources,
yes.
talent unfulfilled in the graveyard. Unfortunately, the graveyard that we have today is not the normal morgue. It's not the normal hospital morgue. The graveyard that poet referred to in that yesteryear are on the street now, living hopelessly, homelessly. So government politicians, I'm one of them, must go to the street. We have to comb the street. We need to, if there's anything we have to do, we have to comb the street. We have to comb the street. And there's no other way to combing the street than identifying them, identifying, visions, identifying people who are living on the road, living on the street, ensuring that we bring them back and give them hope.
Yes, I think we just lost the issue with the connection. So what the Honourable Segun is trying to say is that the youth need to be that's there are so many talented people out there. And the government, I know the government are doing their best. They can do more into identifying these youth and developing and supporting these youth uh, for the better tomorrow. The youth are the future of every state. Youth are the future of every country, and we want to appeal to all our governments, parastatal, all our legislative arms, all our executive arms to look into supporting the youth, providing the opportunity, and making sure that these talent, that people who are on the street who have the talent, and until that knowledge is spotted and helped and is nourished, there is nothing that individual cannot do. I mean, you can do your best, but if we all need support system. We need somebody who can believe in us, somebody who can help us climb the ladder. So we're appealing to the government this hour to support the youth, especially in Nigeria. Just the same thing that just the same way that the Right Honorable Deputy Speaker of the House of Osun State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Honorable Abidemi Akinyode OYEWUSI, is supporting Segun Amure in his quest. The same as what the governor of Osun State is doing. Governor Adeleke, Ademola Adeleke. Thank you all for the work you are doing in these states. I want to appeal to these governors in Nigeria to look. I mean, we appreciate that you are doing your best at the moment. We just want to appeal to you that you look into helping and supporting more youth in identifying their skills and talent and helping them to turn this talent into something that will benefit not just themselves, benefit the states, and also benefit the African community and the global community as well. So youth are not lazy. We know that youth are not lazy. They just need opportunity to be given to them, and I want to encourage the parents as well to support their youth, their children, as you've heard from the Honorable Segun Amure, that his parents were key to his development, and he took the opportunity to move himself forward, and the teachers who have been tremendous in this area as well. So all the teachers, we conversing also for the support for our teachers from the primary school level to the secondary school level to the university level, that the teachers need to be well supported. The payment of salary should be timely. If they are well looked after, it's giving an assurance that the children will be well looked after, and therefore that will translate into having a better economy and a better politicians in our community, in our nation. So I want to thank the Honorable Segun Amure for coming tonight to share his experience, his knowledge, his challenges, his opportunity And we want to appeal also to those who are watching, whether you are watching from Africa, you are watching from Europe, you are watching from US, from UK, that the youth are important to the community. The youth are important to the economy. The youth are important to the politics. For our politics as well. So we want to also appeal to all the leaders to encourage and provide education to the youth, so that they see politics as not a dirty game, but a as part of the economy, as part of the as part of as part of the society at large. The youth are important to the economy. The youth are important to the community, and helping to shape these lives is very important. So I want to say thank you to all our viewers who are watching. I am Philip Oladejo, and I'm the Executive Director of the Global Business and Authors Award UK. Today I had a guest, Segun Amure, who has been speaking with me about his journey to greatness and how to become how to become a productive youth. To become a productive youth, you need to prepare yourself for the opportunity. Now we have the honorable back here. Sorry, we missed for a few minutes. So as we close the program, what will be? We want to do this very quickly in two segments. What would be your advice to the youth and your advice to the government as we close?
Well, the advice to the youth is that we could not rest on our oil. The future is very bright, and there's light at the end of the tunnel. For government, we must see that the future of any nation, any country, resides in the youth. In Osun State, we have an honorable member who is less than 27, an honorable member who is 28. You can see that the future is very bright. So I want to appeal to the government. I mean, to appeal to the whole to leave the state for the youth. I believe we are going to change the narrative for better. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much for that contributions, and I want to just say a big thank you to Honorable Deputy Speaker of the House, Honorable Abidemi. Let me tell you, Abidemi, Akinyode, OYEWUSI.
And also for me, a big thank you to my father in the Lord, Mr. William Kumi, the General Superintendent of Deeper Life Bible Church. So we moved from not supporting politics now to being in politics, and his fatherly run prayers have been so helpful over the years. A big thank you for that.
I want to say thank you. I know Pastor Kumi's. I was actually in Nigeria, Radiant 98. I remember I traveled from Port Harcourt to Lagos to attend program in Lagos. It was called Radiant 98. So we want to encourage all our leaders across the board to support the youth, encourage the youth to go into politics. It's not all just gloom and doom. It's education on what to do, so we can have a very good and effective policies that will help the youth. So thank you so much, Honorable Segun Amure. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate you, and I'm sure we're going to get the time to talk at some point again. Thank you so much to all our viewers who are watching globally. Thank you. Please enjoy your evening, your afternoon, or your morning. Thank you. I am Philip Oladejo. Thank you so much for tuning in and for watching. Now we've now come to the end of the program. So our youth, the hope is not lost. To our governors, our governments, let's help the youth and let's make tomorrow great. Thank you for watching. I am Philip Oladejo. Thank you.